Are you ready to embrace the best years of your life? Well, welcome to Boomers and Beyond, the podcast that celebrates the 55 plus community and everything this exciting chapter has to offer. Everyone, I'm your host, Antionette Blake, better known as the DE Diva, and every week I'll dive into topics that matters to us the most. From health and wellness, travel, family dynamics, finances, family, friends. We're going to explore them all. Going to have some good advice, but I'm going to ask for yours as well, because there'll be lively topics about aging vibrantly, building strong relationships, and guess what? Making the most of retirement. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea, even wine or juice, and settle in with me as we navigate this exciting world of Boomers and Beyond. And don't forget, subscribe to the show and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And share it with your family, your friends, your bae, and your boo too, because this conversation is all about you and me. So let's get started with Boomers and Beyond. Hello, and welcome back to Boomers and Beyond. This is a podcast where we explore all aspects of navigating life's exciting chapters after 55. And I'm your host, Antionette Blake, better known as the DE Diva. And as always, I am so thrilled to be connecting with you on this beautiful day. Now, this week, we're diving back into a topic that's becoming increasingly common. And basically, it's inspiring. We're going to talk about the art of unretirement. Now, for many, many years, retirement was seen as the ultimate goal, a time to sit back, relax, and spend time, whatever it is that you like doing, whether it's on the golf course, on the, pickleball field, wherever the case may be. But for a lot of us, stopping work completely isn't a good fit. Some of us may desire to have a continued purpose, a need for extra income, or just a need to stay active and engaged. So whatever the reason, unretirement is a fascinating trend. And today we'll look at what it's like and the benefits. And you may even consider it yourself. So, what exactly is unretirement? It's the act of going back to work or finding meaningful paid work after initially retiring. It's not really necessarily about returning to your previous career or your previous job. Instead, it often involves exploring new passions, leveraging existing skills in different ways, or finding part-time opportunities that offer flexibility and fulfillment. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today was I recently ran into a member of my church, Mount Pisgah, down in Middletown when we lived there. And he had retired from the police force a few years back, after a long, dedicated career. And I said, yeah, that's great. He's going to kick back, relax, spend time with his family, his friends, and just relaxing. But just last week, I went to the DMV. Yeah, I know. I even had to go to DMV for my son. But hey, did you know there's a new show coming out called The DMV? I can't wait to see that comedy. But anyway, guess who I saw? Yep, there he was working as a security guard, sitting at the booth, greeting people with a friendly smile, having a sip of his soda. And it was great. We had a little chat and I said, hey, I thought you retired. And he said, I did. But I felt like, I wanted to do something that wasn't as stressful. All those years on the force, he still knew that he had something to contribute. And, he missed the interaction with people. And frankly, he just wanted to stay active. And he said this security guard at the DMV was perfect. It keeps him engaged with the community And it's a much easier job feeling useful and connected with the community. So I think that is perfect illustration about the essence of unretirement. It's about finding that sweet spot where you can utilize your experience and skills, stay mentally and physically active, and maintain a sense of purpose, all on your own terms. Now, for me, I was forced to retire, right? I worked for IBM for 32 years and I was laid off. And at 55, I couldn't find a job. I hadn't planned on retiring at 55. I was forced into retirement at 55. But there was something that I loved doing while I was still employed. I always loved social media, connecting with family and friends, sharing outfits of the day photos, keeping up with the news. And guess what? That hobby as a Delaware blogger was something that I loved, and it was something that I turned into a valuable skill, a skill that was paid, right? I did, of course, some volunteer stuff, but I took some more courses, learned the business side of it, and went down and registered my business, A. Blake Enterprises. And it was great because now I can engage with the community. I could, help local small businesses in and around the state of Delaware. It was a perfect fit. I got to use a skill that I loved. I had flexible hours, and I was helping others because it's all about the give back. I was using my small business to grow other small businesses' brand online. So my experience showed that, even though it was forced retirement, I was thinking outside of the box. And it was about looking at my passion and my experiences from a new perspective. So whether you're like my friend who was on the police force and unretired and went back to become a security guard, or if you were forced retired, laid off, and you had other skills that you wanted to do, might be something that you think about doing. And the question is, where do I even begin to think about unretirement? And so the really first step is to self-reflect. Ask yourself these questions. What skills and experiences do I have that are still valuable? Now you got to think outside of the box. It could be your professional expertise, but it could also be your organizational skills, your problem solving abilities, or even customer service. The second question you want to think about is, what am I passionate about? Is there a hobby you always love that you could potentially monetize? Or is there a cause that you care about where you could offer your time, your talents in a paid capacity? And then you want to think about, what kind of work environment are you looking for? Now, COVID took a lot of people home, remote. But if you want a flexible part-time schedule and you're open to learning new technologies and want to work remotely, that will help you determine what it is that you can do. But if you prefer a more traditional workplace setting, but with less pressure, that's also an option. So once you start thinking about these, questions, the next step is to explore the possibilities. Again, don't be afraid to think outside of the box. And here's a few ideas to get you started. You can be a consultant or freelancer. If you have years of experience in a particular field, consider offering your expertise as a consultant or freelancer, like I did with the blog and now the podcast and the social media management. Or maybe part time work in a new field. Maybe you want to go into retail, hospitality, or even nonprofit organizations have part time positions available. And it's a change of pace and an opportunity for new learning experience. Are you artsy crafty? Do you have a hobby that you can turn into a business? Woodworking in your garage? Do you make foods, jams, jellies, honey, oil, vinegars? I know a lot of people that do that. You might explore the possibility of selling these creations online or even at local farmers markets. Now, if you're looking for remote opportunities, It's a whole new world out there. Everything from virtual assistants to online tutoring. Remember, the key to successful unretirement is to approach it with an open mind and a willingness to adapt. It's not about going back to that 9 to 5 grind or that 10 to 6 grind. It's about finding meaningful ways to stay active, connected, and purposeful in this great phase of your life. So I want you to think about that. Leave me a message. What is it that you've been thinking about doing? And if you're not retired yet, think about what you want to do post-retirement. Maybe you're going to retire and sit back and then unretire. But that's all I want to talk about today in today's episode of Boomers and Beyond. And I hope that this topic has sparked some inspiration for you. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on unretirement. Have you considered it or are you unretired? Share that with me. So until next month, yep, I'm trying to take a break. I'm going to be working on some new topics for season 4. And I keep asking you, are there certain things you want me to talk about? Let me know. So if you missed any episodes of Boomers and Beyond, go back, take a listen, and remember, embrace each and every day and live life to the fullest wherever you are. See ya, it's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, wishing you and yours a beautifully blessed day. Bye-bye. I want to thank you all for tuning in today's episode of Boomers and Beyond. I hope you enjoyed the show. And don't forget, subscribe and leave a comment and share it with your friends. You can find me on all my social media platforms. And you know what? This podcast is on Apple and Spotify and Google and iHeart. They're all out there. Just ask for Boomers and Beyond. And if you have a question or a topic suggestion, send an email to me at ablake48@gmail.com. And if there's a topic that you want me to explore on this show, make sure you leave that as well. I'm also actively seeking sponsors who cater to the amazing 55 plus community. So if you have a business or a service that aligns with my listeners' interests, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email. You know how to do that. ablake48@gmail.com. Don't forget, join us next Saturday for another exciting episode packed with information and inspiration for living your best life after 55. Boomers and Beyond is hosted by Buzzsprout, and the music is by Mass O Beats from freetouse.com. See ya, it's the DE Diva.